What's up guys, High Value Hacks back with another video. Thank you for joining me. For those of you, if it's your first time, my name is Joe. I'm an entrepreneur, investor, business, life, and relationship coach. Today, we're gonna be talking about how to deal with a toxic family member or toxic family members in general. This is a big one going into the holidays, especially with all that stress, anxiety, who is pissed off, who's not pissed off. Someone's always pissed off, someone's always starting trouble. Someone's always not happy, right? I could speak from personal experience because there's been situations, family get-togethers, or just regular communication, where certain family members will just make you feel anxious, run down, shitty about yourself, and just not putting you in the right place, right? So that's what we're gonna discuss today. So the first thing you need to do, like always, and what we always need to do, is understand or try to understand these people. Now, typically, people with small minds will try to make others feel badly about themselves. People with great minds will try to make people feel as if they could be great too. Don't want to say that there's so much toxic, but people that are acting toxic typically ignore social cues. They'll say things where it makes you look at like, did they really just fucking say that?
Fuck me. Fuck you.
That's typically what's gonna happen. They push their boundaries as far as they can until you can snap them back and realize and let them know where their line is respectfully. All right, but you do need to realize that it's more about them and not so much about you. People that go out of their way to make you feel shitty about yourself, or maybe you have that relative, whenever you have a get together, they've just always got something to say. And it's always so inappropriate, it's rude, it's condescending, and it's just like, what's your fucking problem, right? But these people are missing something in their lives because happy people want to see other people be happy. Miserable people like to make other people feel miserable because making you feel bad makes them feel better about themselves. So what you need to do is understand that when these people act asinine, it's got nothing to do with you. They've got their own problems they need to address. Whether or not they want to address them is completely up to you. But just keep in mind, it's not your problem, and you'll notice that toxic behavior is predictable. If you can understand and laugh it off and be like, yeah, typical, of course, that was coming, I could see it coming. You're not gonna stop it, you can minimize it. People that get into these tendencies of doing these things are typically doing it with you, and I promise it's not just you. It's you and a lot of other people. But if you can set some decent boundaries, we can kind of relieve it in a way to where they're at least tolerable for the most part, right? So that brings us into the point of setting and sticking to your boundaries respectfully. Now, how do we do this? The biggest thing is to make sure that you do not let these people get an emotional response out of you, because that's what they want. If someone's gonna say something rude and condescending to you, there's nothing more fulfilling to them than to watch you get upset. So first thing we need to do is prepare ourselves mentally that these things may come, be able to laugh it off with confidence, because by you getting upset, you're giving them exactly what they want, and you're basically making them happy and watching you be upset. So basically what we want to keep in mind is, if you don't give them the satisfaction of them getting to you, eventually they're just going to get sick of doing it to you because it's not going to work. They'll find another victim. It's a slow process, it's gradual. You'll notice the pendulum will start here, it'll swing all the way to the other side once you start setting your boundaries, and then you'll find that common ground. Just be prepared for people to be upset with you in the process. This is completely normal, but I assure you, if you stick to it, it's well worth it. So how do we set boundaries respectfully? It all depends on what's happening, but I do notice for the most part with a lot of my clients, they deal with condescending comments, insults, and just a negative attitude towards them. If you get a circumstance where somebody is pressuring you to do something, or they're speaking to you in a condescending way, something simple as just saying back to them, not getting angry. You don't want to argue because that's just going to make things worse. Just simply put, you know, I really don't appreciate you speaking to me that way. They'll be like, what do you mean? You know, if you want to have a conversation and you want to bring up a point, that's completely fine, but being condescending and insulting is inappropriate. They're not going to know what to say with themselves. They may get mad. Let them be upset. Who cares? Say how you feel. It's okay to turn around and say to someone, hey, you're making me feel really uncomfortable about this. If you're going to continue to make me feel uncomfortable, I'm just not going to come, right? If someone's pressuring you to do something for the holidays, maybe someone's being super controlling, just tell them that respectfully. You're overwhelming me. You're being controlling. If this is how you're going to be, I don't know if I want to partake. They may say, great, don't come. You know what? Maybe that's what they need for once. Because you snap those boundaries, they realize they're serious. You're gonna have to deal with family because family is family for the most part. So you gotta find that balance of dealing with when to deal with them and when to not. But if they know you set this boundary and you stick to it, if I do this, this is going to happen. I don't want this to happen. They'll think twice before doing it because like I said before, they're going to find somebody else to do it to. Next point is it's okay to take space from a family member. Just because they're your family doesn't mean you always have to be around them. It's normal. If you need space from someone because they're overwhelming, they're controlling, they're condescending, they're disrespectful, it's okay to take a break, respectfully. Space yourself out for a little while. Maybe don't go to every single family gathering. Maybe don't talk to them on a regular basis. Maybe let them know respectfully, hey, I got a lot of things going on right now. I cannot take all this time and effort to deal with your problems. Remember, we're all adults here. Adults are responsible for themselves. They're not responsible for you. So don't feel like you always need to be responsible for them because people will push further and further and further until you snap it back. Set your line to where you feel comfortable. It's okay to help family members, but to a point. At some point, these people need to take care of their own shit. It's not your responsibility to take care of another adult just because they don't feel like taking care of themselves. Listen, another point is family drama is always going to be inevitable, all right? Someone's always going to be upset. I know at least with my family dynamic, I had a lot of different places that I had to go to because my parents were divorced from when I can remember. Even with dating, if you've got a significant other, you've got their family, you've got your family, they want you at their place the whole time. They want you at the other people want you at their place the whole time. Someone's always getting pissed off. When are you coming? When are you leaving? That's unacceptable. There's really nothing you can do. Someone's going to be upset, and that's okay. Family drama is going to happen. The only thing you can do is keep your cool, set your boundaries, and say, listen, this is what I want to do. I know genuinely what I'm doing is fair, and this is what's going to happen. If you don't like that, I'm really, really sorry, but I'm doing it anyway. So if you want to be mad, sorry, you can be mad, but I'm doing it. And you'd be surprised the next time around how they approach the situation. They won't get so angry because they know you're not going to tolerate it. That comes into the next point. You cannot be afraid of setting boundaries and someone getting upset because people are going to get upset initially when you set your boundaries because you're telling them something they don't like to hear because you're always used to telling somebody yes or saying nothing at all or not retaliating, and if you do, it's an angry and an emotional rage where you argue. By you being cool, calm, and collected and setting your boundaries, this is really gonna upset the other person. So you gotta be prepared and okay that initially they may get upset, they may want to not talk to you for a little while, but just remember it's family, it's not gonna be permanent. Let them figure their shit out, let them get over their hissy fit because that's what it is, it's a fucking hissy fit. And when they're ready to have an intelligent conversation and want to be mature about it, then we could discuss it, but it's got to be fair on both sides. It's not fair if one side's getting everything they want and the other side gets nothing. Compromise is about two people coming together and doing something that they both get something out of. Just keep in mind and just remember that their issues are not your fault. If somebody is acting out and they're controlling or they're condescending, they've got something going on they need to fix. They got their own shit going on they don't want to deal with, and they're making it your problem. Well, just remember, their problems are not your fault. Whatever's really happening in their life, you didn't cause it. It's not your problem. You need to take care of yourself. People need to know that. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others. So just keep that in mind when you're setting your boundaries and you're going into this with an open mindset, because like I said before, toxic behavior is predictable. You can almost see it on cue. Ding, there it is. Here it is. You always know it's coming, so you just got to be ready for it and ready to react in a cool, calm, collected manner. You know, just to give you a short example, I had a story recently where I had a family member that had reached out to me and was talking to me, and I had plans to take my kids with my significant other's family, in which it was their plans, wasn't my plans. They invited us. So I was talking to her and stuff, and I always mentioned like, hey, you know, I'm always here if you need me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm in Best Buy buying another laptop and with my two kids, and, you know, that's a whole handful running around and doing all that. And she calls me and she goes, I want to go pumpkin picking with you tomorrow and the boys. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, I want to go with you. And I'm like, well, they're not my plans, so I don't really know. I got to get back to you. And she goes, I don't understand. Is her brother like one of those weird people that get upset? I'm like, no, what you don't understand is it's not my plans. It's rude of me to just bring someone along when it wasn't the plan originally. They got kids, I got kids. Typically you do that together. If you want to go at a separate time, we can do that. Then I get the comment, oh, well, you always said that you were going to be there for me, but clearly you're not going to because you're too busy. So, all right. I messaged her back and I said, you know something? You're making me feel extremely uncomfortable. If this is what you're going to do, then I'm not going to entertain this at all. From that boundary completely snapped back. It didn't happen again. When you make it clear you're uncomfortable, and if you're uncomfortable, you're not going to entertain it at all, you'd be surprised the reaction you get. Because what are they going to say back to that? They can either get mad and stop talking to you, or they can acknowledge it and be like, okay, I'm sorry. Those are your only two options. So keep your head up, be ready for it, and just realize it's not about you, because it's never about you. Unless you did something to intentionally piss someone off, then that's your fucking problem. Then maybe you deserve it. Maybe you don't. But if you're a good person, got a good heart, which I'm sure most of you are, if not all of you, try not to overthink it. Try to take it in stride. Try to enjoy yourself. Just remember, only you can ruin your day. I want to thank you guys for joining me for another video. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you have any questions or an idea for another video. If not, you could reach out to me directly. I want to thank you again for tuning in for this video. See you on the next one.